Well, if you are the prize, why are you the one who's walking around the mall going up to every girl you see? You're the prize. Why is nothing coming to you? Why are you dedicating your life and time chasing around girls, half of them reject you? I thought you were a prize. As a man, I've always said this all the time. I say, if you're living a life of purpose and you're getting your stuff done, you're gonna see beautiful girls on, I wouldn't say accident. You're gonna run into girls. You're gonna see a girl at Starbucks. If you got enough game, you can go say hello. Absolutely, yes. But I think that's completely different than dedicating, blocking off a week of your life to walk around in circles. I think that's a different thing. I'll approach any beautiful girl like me.
First of all, you should never chase girls. You should be on that mission, and on the way you run slap the fuck over them. Because they get in the way, bro. You absorb them. You never chase them anyway. You won't chase girls. You're there. You are who you are. You're on your own mission. They see it, and then they chase you.
Typically, men give attention to get sex, and girls give sex to keep getting attention.
So that's your primary kind of tool or resource.
That's your only resource.
Yeah.
Because even you talk about money and all this shit, that's all garbage. The only resource you have is your attention. And the reason it's so difficult is because now women get so much attention for no reason.
Yeah.
Then why does your attention have value?
Yeah.
So you have to put value on your attention.
Yeah.
So then how do you put a value on your attention? And once again, I explain this in the course by saying everything that's valuable, like gold, is scarce. So I don't give my attention to any girl I'm not banging. I don't follow you on Instagram. I don't fucking like your pictures. Like if we're not talking and literally actively going somewhere, you don't get my attention because that's what gives it a value. And then they start sitting there and start liking your pictures. Start thinking this dude ignores me.
Yep.
It's like, well, it's because I've got too many girls on the roster right now. I ain't got time for you.
They're waiting for that follow back.
They're waiting
back. You're like, nope.
But most guys are so thirsty.
Yeah.
And because once the girl knows that she could get you, then she loses value. No, he wants to fuck me, duh.
Yeah, they want the fantasy. They want the mystery. They want the story.
Absolutely. They want and it's the same with us men. I say this to all the guys I coach. I say, how many times have you had a girl and she was good on paper, but she was just too available and you couldn't be bothered?
Yeah.
So imagine it from a girl's perspective. You're way too available for her. It's not too complicated. And the crazy thing about all of this, and I try and teach this in the courses, if you approach this all like a game and you can be very cerebral about it, that's fine. But if you just make it who you are, it's easier. Yeah. For me, it's who I am.
You're saying, like Rollo talks about like internalizing it. I think that's what you're saying here.
I've just become that guy.
Yeah.
I'm that guy. You don't want to fuck, I don't want to talk to you.
Yep, fuck off.
That's it. It's not a game.
Yep.
And that's not me being a horrible person. It's like you don't want to give me what I want, I don't want to give you.
Yeah.
Here's a story from one of my viewers. It's safe to say that I identify as a straight man. I'd spent my entire life in the Golden State. I myself went MGTOW years before the phrase was ever coined. I had just experienced one betrayal too many from females, and I was done cleaning up after them. So I finally gave in and become a full-time MGTOW. I was searching, and your videos not only helped me but also solidified my choice. As a man, I've observed a few characteristics regarding the female gender. After going MGTOW, I began to receive more attention from women in the workplace and in public. They stammer occasionally when they speak to me. However, the tide has turned. As a result of my poker face, they often fumble and second-guess themselves as they try to earn my attention. Even though I've only dated 5 up until now, I can report that I've recently been contacted by a few 9s. Because of this, I now see what a fool I was to waste my time on women who weren't worth it. I anticipated resistance to my radical lifestyle shift at first. So far, though, it's been fantastic, and I've even had support from female friends. On the weekend days, I don't go anywhere. When I have some free time, I use it to work out at the gym or catch up on my reading. Please believe me when I say this. It is really worthwhile. Compared to my married pals and the times I've had girlfriends, I have so much more freedom and leisure. Most of the time spent with women is spent talking or listening to each other cry about how terrible life is. Some men have even said to me that they secretly covet my way of life and wish they didn't have to plan everything around women. Many of them see the logic in what I'm saying when I discuss MGTOW with them. That time when everyone kept asking me why I didn't have a girlfriend or why I was single. I was just saying how exhausted I am from searching. Then one day I said, I just live like this. That is the end of my story. It's a nice example of how a man can raise his worth by ignoring women, in my opinion. I'm willing to bet that if you started paying attention to those women, especially the 9s and 10s, they would lose interest in you right away. Women are naturally selfish like that. The truth is that many women find it impossible to accept that any man would reject them. That doesn't happen very often at all. There is no such thing as a straight man who turns down a lady. As a result, people are taken aback when it finally occurs to them. A desire for the unattainable is stoked. These kinds of women tend to be the ones that have problems with their fathers. Perhaps the father wasn't around much, and as a result, they're trying too hard to impress people. As a result, the man's disregard for her brings up painful memories from her youth. She is more invested since she is reminded of the times when she was ignored. These ladies are yearning to know what's going on in that man's head to make him so disinterested and rude to them. When men overlook their female partners in this way, it becomes a full-blown crisis for the female. If they're not good enough for one man, they may not be for any. They will also make bad comments and try to put their own anxieties onto you. It's like lugging around a mirror that reflects women's insecurities while you're single, happy, and doing well in life. Women won't stand for it if men like that get out and tell the truth about women. For instance, when males enter monk mode and discuss the character of women, most women become defensive and may even accuse the men of being woman haters. Men are held responsible for not including women in their regular lives. The fear you inspire as a single, contented man is understandable. You are hurting their chances of meeting a nice man. Women who support this person and tell him he's ok the way he is. In doing so, they are lending credence to his claims. It's because he's so unapproachable right now that they want to plant the seeds of a relationship, and especially because a good-looking woman can't stand it. Having a straight man reject her like that brings her entire world to a screeching halt. This causes her to question the efficacy of her primary source of authority. All the while her inner state remains unchanged. She agrees with you publicly while privately losing her mind over a man's indifference. They will also often demonize you. People will naturally assume you hate women if you tell them you no longer pursue women or that you're becoming MGTOW. Women are actively working to isolate males in this way to prevent the damaging message from spreading and protecting their reputations. That's why it's a bad idea to use the acronym MGTOW. It'll make you lose face. If you use the phrase anywhere in your video, YouTube will disable your ad income. There are several women in leadership roles at YouTube. Even the top executive is a lady. You can probably guess the type of regulations that would be put in place if women were in charge. Since this man isn't actively sharing his claim, there haven't been many pushbacks against it. From their perspective, he is a lonely loner who has no means of communicating with other males. In my opinion, MGTOW has been around since the beginning of time. The difference today is that its adherents have banded together in one place, thanks to the internet, and have given the movement its own ideology, as well as its own vocabulary and set of acronyms. That's where women typically struggle. In organizing and coordinating the many aspects of a movement, women are the greatest judges of gossip's ability to disseminate ideas and take over a conversation because of the speed with which it travels in the internet era. Negative rumors about them are especially harmful since they lower their perceived value in society. It's something that makes them less appealing and less likely to be rescued by a white knight. Historically, women could humiliate a man into getting married, but once he did, he remained the head of his household. A man can be forced into marriage under the threat of family separation by the state today. However, progressive and successful men are gradually becoming aware of the growing number of social trends and legal restrictions that work against them. These men are the hardest workers and most in demand. They have the self-awareness to not ruin their life for the sake of romantic pursuits when they might be working at reaching the top 20% instead. They had the opportunity to advance professionally and physically. Women who are privileged enough to have choices should be the most opposed to MGTOW. Personally, I believe it's wonderful that the young man may spend more time reading and enjoying himself. It's easy for him to squeeze in a workout, and his lifestyle choices are generally beneficial. While the couples are out there working tirelessly to purchase a house and arguing over their life, he is using his time more productively. He's busy expanding his language and building muscle while married men go through hell to be laid once a week. To discourage more men from choosing this lifestyle, modern society is actively working to make it more expensive to be a single man. For this reason, I think it's important for all men to have a hobby or a side hustle they can do in their spare time. It's ideal if you can accomplish two things at once. It's important to save for retirement, and I've found that many men aren't doing so. If you really wanted to, you could even purchase a house if you reduced your costs sufficiently. In this way, you may increase your manhood's financial worth by possessing great real estate. Personally, I had this wacky idea to acquire a bunch of properties, renovate them so they seem antique, and then provide tours. But that's just me. I plan to showcase the kitchens by having women do so. What I'm trying to say is, there's more to life than worrying about women. So make ends meet and don't forget to have fun. If you're a young man, your world probably revolves around girls. Don't waste your time worrying about women, as wise old men will tell you to do. No good can come of it. When you're older, you realize that you missed out on so much of life because you were fixated on that one woman at your office. That's all for today, men. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button to get more dope content like this every day. Till next time.